everybody, Nick Daniels here. Yet again, we're just rocking the highway driving here, and I figured we'd make another video along the way. So today I want to talk about the difference of training and education, and this is just going to be my personal belief. This is not like, you know, straight up, this is the definition if you Google them. So basically, training in my idea is training like for like a task, and training is usually only used for like that one thing. So like for example, like you go to a job, right? You get training on the slicer, right? You get the slicer, right? You know how to use the slicer, and it's usually pretty quick. Like when you do training, you're usually pretty much trained, and then you just get right onto the slicer. That's quite frankly normally how that shit works. Funny enough. Now, education works obviously a little bit differently. Education works in the way that I feel like education is a little more long-term. And education, in my opinion, kind of gives you more of like the concepts and the foundation to improve upon it. So, like for example, you could get education, again, like myself, in IT, right? Information technology, so computers. And what you could do with that education is then take that to the next level on your own, or you could apply it to so many different spots, right? Like in IT, like I can go work on a printer, it's not going to be a problem, right? Or, you know, or at least I'd have a grasp of what I'm doing. I don't have to be necessarily trained on how to do that printer, but I have the foundation to be able to figure it out, right? That's kind of how I've always looked at education, or at least I do now. And again, training, like I said, is being the short term. Short term as in like, we're going to train you, we're going to get you to do one specific task, and it's not really thinking outside the box. Training is a lot of just repetition. Again, like you're on the slicer, you're just going to keep doing that same thing, right? You're going to work on the slicer, and you're probably not switching it up a whole lot. And again, like education, there's vast, copious amounts of differences there, and paths you can explore. But I think education, like I said, is definitely a long term. Like if you do education, you're in the longevity of it. You know, like look at like going to school when you're a kid, right? You get like math, right? Like you don't realize it, but you apply math all the time, right? And that's the thing, right? You don't have to be trained in this specific type of math. You can kind of piece things together because you've got that foundation and you have that education, right? To get you where you're going. And, you know, some people might believe otherwise. But again, when you look at training, again, right, you're not going to know how to use the saw, you know, but you do know how to use the slicer. So now you have to get trained on the saw, right? I mean, obviously one and the other might be a little bit more of a cost difference. I'm assuming training might be just free, but the example I'm using it as a company, they'll probably just train you on site. Education, chances are you're going to a school or like a post-secondary institution, and you're paying for it, right? And you're paying for it out of pocket. It costs money. And I think that's why a lot of people probably avoid it. Anyway, folks, let me know what you folks think. I know this is a little bit quicker one there, but I think I got my point across. So that's the, in my opinion, the definition, or the difference, of education and training. Thanks for watching. Peace.